You got something laying around your shop that's rusty, you know, maybe an old car part, cast iron skillet, maybe a tool, and you want to get the rust off of it? Sure, there are a lot of rust removers out there like Evapo-Rust, Crud Cutter, Rust Aid, you know, stuff like that. But those cleaners are messy. They really get your hands all gooey, but I know you can wear gloves. But they stink too, and they smell, and they give off fumes. Today, I'm going to show you how I do it. It's a cool way. It's even fun. What am I talking about? An E-tank, or pretty much electrolysis. See these rusty channel locks? Some dumb left them outside for a few months. Well, that would be me. Building an E-tank is pretty easy. You just need a few items and you'll be on your way. First off, you need a battery charger. One like this preferable. Problem is, this one no longer works. So I don't need that one. So I'm going to use this one right here. It's pretty much the same, but it's not. It doesn't have a gauge on it. I can't start out at 2 amps. It has to charge at 10 amps. Then eventually it'll go down to 2 amps. Then you need a tank for water. This here's, I don't know what it's, probably a 15-gallon tote or something. But if you have a small part, you really don't need that big of a tank. You can use a 5-gallon bucket. Or you could use one of these little painter's buckets here for mixing paint and stuff. Or you could even use a Tupperware container. Just as long as it's big enough to put the part in that you need to get the rust off, it'll work just fine. And it needs to be plastic. Then you'll need a sacrificial piece of steel or metal. Here's one that I've used in the past. You know, it's 1.5 inches wide, but down here it's kind of eroded away. Now you know why it's called sacrificial. But today I'm using rebar. I'm going to use 4 pieces of rebar in this tote. And in the rebar, I've drilled a hole. I'll show you more about that later. You'll need a stick to place across the top of your plastic tub, tote, or whatever. You'll need some metal wire. You'll need a piece to wrap around that stick with a hook with a hook on the bottom of it. And then you'll need to wrap some of this around the part that you're trying to get the rust off, so you can hang it from the stick. I've made a few E-tanks in the past, and I used to always use Arm & Hammer baking soda. That's what everybody said. Use this here. And it worked okay on most of the items. It was okay, but not all that great. What they really meant was Arm & Hammer washing soda. Not baking soda, washing soda. Baking soda is a bicarbonate. You can mix it with water and drink it and get rid of heartburn. You can use it to brush your teeth. You can't do that with washing soda. This is just carbonate. It's not made to be ingested, so don't ingest it. I'm going to be using 4 pieces of rebar. I'm going to put 1 piece in each corner because I want the pool of the rust to basically be all the way around the pair of channel locks that I'm going to have in there. You know, like I showed you that other piece of metal, you know, you can put 1 in there and it still pulls it off. But there's been items that I've tried before that a lot of rust come off one side and the other side the rust come off, but it just wasn't all that great. So I'm going to try this way here. Okay, I got this hole in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of this copper wire in there. Then I'm going to take it through the hole. If I can find it, there we go. And then just loop it in there. That'll help keep this this electrode from going down into the solution. So I'll wind that up on there, get that all wound up. Then I'm going to repeat this for the other 4 corners. Now I'm leaving the copper longer, or a piece of it longer, on all 4 corners. I am going to cut it back because I got to connect a wire, or copper wire, around, hook it up to at least 3 sides. So that way all 4 rods will have a continuous wire running to them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wire nut and just hook that to there. Make sure it's on good and tight. Bring over to here. Okay, what I've done here is I've just taken copper wire and just wire nutted it onto each one of those deals on all corners. I only had to do 3 corners because that's all you need to do. So now that I got the rods and everything all in here, now it's time to add water. This may take a while because it is cold outside and I think my hose is frozen. It's got a little ice in there. I know that this tote holds 11 gallons, and I got it marked by a line over there how high it needs to go. Okay, we're about done there. Okay, there we go. Okay, you want to make sure that your water solution that you got in here isn't going to come up and touch these copper ties right here, because the electrolysis operation will leach off of that copper and it'll turn your part green. For each gallon of water, it takes 1 tablespoon of the washing soda. So I'll get 11 in there. It's just rough. It doesn't have to be precise. Now when you're done putting this in, you need to stir it with a stick. And you got to really get it all mixed in good. Clumps up, you got to bust up the clumps, but you got to get it totally dissolved in there. It takes a little bit. Smells like a washing machine to me. Okay, I got my trusty stick here, and I've wrapped some metal wire around there, and I've made a loop right there. Then I've taken my pliers and I've loop the wire around it, used a washer over here to help hold it. That washer won't go through. But I'll use this here, and I'll just loop it on there. And then I'll drop it down in the tank. And just like that, the rust is gone. Nope. Now you got to get your battery charger. Don't plug that battery charger in yet. On your battery charger, you got black and red, positive and negative. You want to hook the negative to your part here. Yeah, that's right. That way it's kind of, in a way, with that wire going down there, it's making contact. Then you can just take your positive and you can just hook it over here on a piece of the rebar. Now you can plug it in. Just like this here. And I'll have to turn this on. Hit start. It's showing that it's charging. But in the past, I've come back out to check on it, and it's either showing a dead battery or it's fully charged. So I just unplug it to reset it and plug it back in and let it keep going. Now, if your item has a lot of rust on it, and loose rust and everything, be a good idea to get a wire brush or some kind of brush and try to get most of that off that you can. That way it helps the electricity go through your part better. It doesn't have to try to knock all that old rust off. As you can see here, we do have some kind of action going on down in there. I don't hope it comes up on the camera, but there are bubbles coming up there. Now those bubbles are hydrogen and oxygen. So you don't want to do this in like a closet thinking, hey, I'll just put that in the closet and let it go. No, you need a wide open place, you know, like what I have here in my shop. You know, a lot of air goes through here, the doors opening and closing, it gets a good airflow through here. Because if you put it in a closet or in a confined space, a spark could ignite it and you don't want that. Well, I'm going to give this 24 hours since this thing was really rusty. If you got light rust, you know, you can go 4 or 5 hours. They might do okay, but these here are pretty rusty. I couldn't even get them to move, so I'll check back with you tomorrow and we'll see how these things are. Well, here we are the next day. It's been probably 20 minutes over 24 hours, which doesn't really hurt nothing. But you can see how all the rust has surfaced to the top. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it. But you can see all those particles right there. You can still see some of the stuff coming off the metal, but that's just normal. So let's get this thing unplugged and out of the water. Unplug, disconnect there, and disconnect here. There we go. And let's see what these look like. Well, it don't look too bad. A lot of the rust is out. Let me get this wire and everything off here and get these cleaned up. Well, here I am in the bathroom of my shop. I got the parts here. Well, I can't find my wire brush, but this here should probably do okay. What you want to do is really get this scrubbed off, cleaned up. They now work. Look at that. Couldn't do that earlier. Do some more scrubbing in there. Get all that nice and cleaned up. Now if you have a hair dryer, that'd be the best, but I don't have a hair dryer. I got this heat gun, but it'll work just as good. You'll just want to take it, turn it on, let it get warm. You just want to dry this off really good. You get it heated up and see that water evaporating off there. And as you can see, I mean, it's still got like a surface rust still on there, but you just take your wire brush or something and scrub over that, or, you know, brush over it, get it cleaned up. Need to put some oil down in here to kind of get this here loosened up. But they do look a lot better than what they did. And they at least work now. I can at least get them to move pretty good. Well, everybody, that's how I like to get rust off things. I'm sure there's easier ways out there, but I just wanted to give an example of what an e-tank can do. You know, sometimes you just get items that are hard to get a wire wheel into or anything. So you can use an e-tank and you can get most of it off. Then you can clean it up, oil it, and use it again. Well, I hope everyone had a great Christmas out there. You know, I'd like to say, hey, I hope you got everything you wanted, but that's really not what Christmas is about. Hope you got to visit with family and friends. It's the end of the year. We're getting ready to start a new year. I'm not really all that excited, but hey, to each his own, I guess. Well, hey everyone, thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want. Leave a comment. I'll get back to you. See ya!